Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining our Umbraco and plus CDS webinar. I'm Paul Mearsman, Head of Marketing at CDS. Our aim today is to provide you with valuable insights and helpful advice. CDS is proud to be an Umbraco Gold partner since 2019. Umbraco is one of the best CMSs in the world. It's the perfect choice for organizations that want a secure, future-proof, cost-friendly web platform. We've seen a lot of innovative and exciting thinking around content management systems and digital experience platforms in recent years, but I won't give anything more away now. My colleagues Jason and Dimitri will cover the salient points in the webinar. The key is choosing the right combination of agency and technology. It can make your life much easier, simpler, and improve speed to value. You'll learn more about that during the webinar. First, though, you may wonder who CDS are and what we do. So CDS is an agency that uses human-centered design thinking to enable strategic change and improve technology choices, customer experiences, and business operations for our clients. Our 170-strong team of subject matter experts make a positive difference. We're not a glitzy agency. We're the engineers and problem solvers. When big, ugly, and complex digital problems need to be resolved, then we're the people who can help. That's why clients like the Bank of England, the NHS, 35 of the 43 police services in England and Wales, Transport for London, National Rail, the Cabinet Office, Ministry of Defence, Home Office, and familiar brands like McDonald's, Amazon, EE, and Asda trust CDS. Our work in the areas of health, business, education, and security touches the lives of nearly everyone in the nation. So we've had the little CDS introduction now, and I'd like to hand over to Dimitri from Umbraco, and then we'll come back to how CDS fits into the equation with Jason and end with your questions. So over to you, Dimitri.
Thank you very much, Paul. Hello, everyone. My name is Dimitri, and my title goes as a solutions engineer at Umbraco. So what I do on the daily basis is I work with a lot of clients and partners such as CDS around our product mix, helping you to utilize our different offerings and products on Umbraco in the best possible way. So next slide, please. So the agenda of today's webinar is future-proofing, a lot of things about agility. But first, for those of you who are new to Umbraco, I want to give a few words who we are and what we do. So we are biggest and fastest growing .NET open source CMS in the world. And as you can see on the right side, a lot of our users particularly like us because we're very user focused and providing very neat editor experience and usability. We have a very active community around our product that use our CMS in different scenarios where we work very closely together with them, getting a lot of valuable inputs and insights that we use to create very user-centric CMS software. And with that in place, we also have a wide network of solutions partners or implementation partners then help you to tweak your CMS implementation in a best possible way. Slide, please. Now, when we talk about agility and digital transformation, one of the most important steps that you can take is to choose the relevant hosting foundation that supports you in this journey. And over the years, we received a lot of requests from our clients as to what is the best way to host your Umbraco CMS. And as a response to that, as your CMS vendor, we have created hosting service specifically tailored to your Umbraco CMS, which is Umbraco Cloud. Umbraco Cloud is the Microsoft Azure-based hosting for your website to allow you efficiently create, manage, and scale your Umbraco website. Next slide, please. And there's a few animations, so you can just skip them right away. And that is the reason why we have created Umbraco Cloud. because we know for a fact that hosting considerations are quite complex processes that involve a lot of different important variables that you and your team and your partner's team need to take into account. And that requires a lot of time and effort to figure this out. And what needs to be there? What platform should I use? Is it scalable? And other similar questions you might ask before kickstarting your web project. Next slide. Now with Umbraco Cloud, we aim to take away this burden away from your shoulders and free up your time that you as a team or as an organization can spend creating digital experiences that matter for you and your clients, having a solid foundation underneath. Umbraco Cloud is also acts as an accelerator that CDS has utilized to take away unnecessary burden and to help you to kickstart your Umbraco journey, without spending a lot of resources in advance. Next slide. Now, when I speak with clients, a lot of our clients have difficulties to understand what Umbraco Cloud is and how does it can help your organization. And here I like to distinguish three pillars. So the first pillar is the technical side of things. It includes all recent and modern Microsoft and Cloudflare technologies that you get with a single click of a button. And the second pillar is a value-adding service layer, because Umbraco Cloud is just more than a hosting. On Umbraco Cloud, we have provided a lot of features, such as an automated upgrades, that help you to stay on the most feature-rich and secure version of Umbraco. And this feature alone can save you a lot of time in the long run. And then Umbraco Deploy, to allow your content editors to work effectively with the content, to have a quick time to market for your content changes. And we also support your Umbraco installations. That means that you're backed up by experienced Umbraco developers that can help you to escalate the issues with people who run behind your CMS. And the third pillar is that it's a fully managed service, because Umbraco Cloud is maintained, managed, and monitored by internal team of Umbraco software architects. Next slide. So many of the projects, we see that many of the projects require data to be stored within the UK because of the compliance and the data laws, which of course makes a lot of sense because you want your data to be governed under your country's regulations. And we at Umbraco Cloud have enabled the hosting option for the UK, making the Umbraco Cloud available for our partners and clients within the UK. And with that comes the better performance, because as the physical location of your data center is close to your users and your developers, it results in a faster loading times and a better user experience. And this is particularly important for development purposes, because there are fewer delays in the data transfer latency. And another big benefit you get from Umbraco Cloud is that you know your cost in advance, and thus you know your spend. It's easier to budget this, because generally when I talk with clients, depending on the platform provider, your hosting bill might vary depending on many factors, like your traffic, additional services, computing resources, and etc. Once you're on Umbraco Cloud, you have a fixed monthly cost, which allows you to forecast your expense, and you don't have to worry about the unexpected costs or hidden fees. Now, when we talk about future-proofing, there are multiple things that you can do to ensure that your Umbraco website can adapt to changing circumstances. As I covered earlier, infrastructure that supports you in this journey is just the one part of this. And the second part is, of course, to choose an experienced partner who can support you and advise in this journey. And I'm very happy to recommend CDS for that. And the third important thing is to stay updated, because with the recent versions of Umbraco, you're able to stay ahead of the curve with the latest feature, performance, and security improvements. Now, on the right side, you can see the example where the same Umbraco site has been tested both version 8 and version 9, where we can see a significant improvements in performance just between one version. Now, think about how much you might be missing if you run 2 or maybe 3 or even 4 versions behind. So by staying up to date, you ensure that your website can be optimized and it is more secure, performant, and ready to respond to changing market demands. Now, next slide, please. To make it even easier, we, as your CMS vendor, we have committed to Microsoft release cadence, meaning that whenever there is a new improvement to a .NET framework, we also implement it in our software. And with that in place, you have now a clear and predictable release calendar where you as an organization can use it to plan your upgrade journey in advance, knowing exactly when you need to upgrade. Next slide. And here's an example where you can see how long are different versions supported. So normally we just distinguish between the different versions and LTS, or long-term supported versions. Now, the fact that the release frequency has changed, what it means that the differences between these versions are also not so big anymore, and thus updating takes much less time and effort, allowing your organization to easier align with this without heavy upfront investment. And with this, we aim to enable your organization to effectively adjust with time in a more easier and effective manner. Now, aside from the metrics and numbers, I want to also talk a little bit more about what does it mean for you as an organization. So everything in the IT keeps changing, the security, the performance, the usability, and these are the reasons to keep changing. Now, think about the challenges or resources or pressure you might need to go through if your sensitive data is at risk. Now, with updating, you're able to eliminate this risk by staying on the most recent and secure versions of Umbraco. Now, if you bundle this up with Umbraco Cloud and the automated upgrades that I talked about earlier, where we fix the security vulnerabilities for you, you get a solution where you can have a peace of mind that your data and applications are secure. Now I also see that it helps in the long run save you a lot of delayed business costs on extensive project management. Because when your application is end of life, you have to choose the right upgrade strategy. You have to consider whether to re-platform, align time and budgets with the teams aside of your key business areas. Now with upgrades, you're able to plan more frequent, yet smaller upgrades along the way that are much easier to manage and implement. And this way, you and your business stays essentially in control and eliminates the risk, delays, and the cost that might occur later. And of course, each of the Umbraco versions introduces a number of benefits, which of course could be technical benefits, but there's also a lot of features that Umbraco has created for content editors. So by upgrading, you're ensuring that the latest best practices are implemented in your solution. Time to market for your content with new publishing features, media handling, enhanced workflows to get content out, performance of your Umbraco. Or we can even talk about the environmental considerations because the code improvements in the .NET versions consume less resource on the server and thus less energy. Now, if you want to integrate some technologies, they might not be supported or not so straightforward to implement in older versions. So aligning with Umbraco upgrades, you unlock multiple different benefits that come with the newer and more recent versions of Umbraco. Now, of course, as a flexible CMS, as we branded ourselves and as we are, we want to give you the flexibility to choose when it comes to upgrade as well. So there are generally the three main upgrade strategy that you can undertake. So each version strategy is good because this way you ensure that you're almost always on the latest version of Umbraco, most secure and most performant. It requires more frequent twice per year upgrading, and it comes with a number of performance benefits that I outlined earlier. However, in some cases, I also see that it doesn't make sense to do a frequent upgrading. It might be the case for your organization. So in this way, you are able to stay on long-term supported version, where you do a fewer upgrades, normally once every 2 years. And when the time comes, you have to make a bigger leap. And the one in between is the mixed strategy. So this is a good when a certain Umbraco version introduces features that you want to get. For instance, we're soon releasing a headless API, which allows your Umbraco to to work in a headless manner. So if this feature is desired by your organization, you can then plan this little incremental leap to get this feature from Umbraco CMS. Now, a lot of questions from clients I get is around how well does Umbraco work with other third-party software. So first of all, Umbraco is open source, meaning that your developers or implementation partner have a full access to the code base of your CMS. That means that it's very unlikely that you will hear a no if you ask if a certain tool or extension or a package can be integrated with Umbraco. You can tweak the code to make it fit with almost anything. And also being a .NET-based CMS, it naturally fits with other Microsoft software, such as Microsoft 365. So if you're already working with the Microsoft stack, it fits together very well. However, we also provide a lot of different options for what we call easy integration, utilizing our marketplace. So instead of locking you in with defined software tools like many other licensed vendors do, we provide you a freedom to choose what technologies you want to work with. On our marketplace, you can find various pre-integrated products across different domains like marketing, personalization, PIM or DAM or e-commerce systems that you can seamlessly integrate in your Umbraco solution. And as a result, as a business, you have the complete freedom to choose the relevant technologies and software for your solution. We know for a fact that the personalization is among the more important things these days. So with Umbraco, an experienced implementation partner like CDS, you are able to outline and build exactly the tools that your business needs without compromising on cost. And you, and not your software vendor, determine the scope of your digital solution. And we'd like to refer to it as a composable digital experience when you pick the best of breed tools that you as an organization want to work with and integrate it into the Umbraco. So how does Umbraco enable you to be more agile? As I mentioned, Umbraco is open source, and so it means it's a free, where you can save your money you usually spend or you might spend on licenses, and most often on the functionality and the complexity that you don't need. And instead invest this money into your business needs, like developing your digital product. Since there's no license, there's also nothing that really limits your business in terms of your specific requirements. Thus, you get the flexibility to adapt to market conditions and changing business demands over time without having to pay extra. When it comes to your Umbraco CMS, you are the one who owns all of your code and own your expense. And it gives you the flexibility to tailor your solutions and essentially be in charge what goes into it. You're also being able to be more agile in terms of the deployment, getting your code and content changes out, which again allows you to adapt quicker, getting your changes quicker to the market. And with that in place, you have much smoother collaboration because essentially you really rely on your implementation partner. With the experienced partner like CDS, you really eliminate the need of talking to your software vendor about your CMS, because CDS can address most of your concerns. And with that in place, quick time to market for everything, be that a code changes, a content changes, new features, or even a new websites. You are able to do it so much faster because of the open source nature of Umbraco CMS. Now, that was it from my side. Thank you very much for listening. And if it was a more general overview, so if you want to get more details, walk through different versions of CMS, understand what are the key differences in terms of technical side, but also from editor side, or you want to see how Umbraco Cloud can accelerate your current Umbraco site, please feel free to reach out to me on the email or on the LinkedIn. And giving over to you, Jason.
Thanks, Dimitri. Afternoon, everyone. I'm Jason, the head of pre-sales at CDS, affectionately referred to as the techie in the commercial team. I can safely say I don't view myself as a salesperson. I've realised I haven't put my shameless LinkedIn self-promotion on that slide. Next slide, please, Paul. So Dimitri has done a thoroughly good job of explaining why Umbraco is a good choice to support digital transformation. And hopefully I'll be able to explain why CDS is a great partner to deliver digital transformation using Umbraco and other technologies. So in my opinion, it really doesn't matter how fully featured a CMS or any other piece of technology is. If it isn't targeting and addressing business challenges, then it's just another piece of software. At CDS, we believe technology is a force for good and for transformation, but we want to help you ensure success and build solutions based on user and stakeholder needs and not use technology for the sake of technology. We want to make sure that this technical solution we recommend delivers the right outcomes, and we have a proven approach to do this. What agency doesn't? So we call this learn, design, implement, and optimize. So learn is, as you might expect, we seek to understand what needs to change and why. What do your users expect and need from your service? And how can we measure success? So during this phase, we lean heavily on user research and both qualitative and quantitative data. The outputs of that phase feed into design. So how should it change? We'll design a new human-centered service to meet your objectives with a test and learn methodology that constantly evolves and improves the outcomes over time. That then moves into the implementation. So this is where the heavy lifting happens. This is the stuff that I get excited about. It's the technical delivery. So we deliver precisely what is needed using the right combination of technology. Again, not technology for the sake of technology. We do this smoothly with no sleepless nights for anyone, especially not anyone in the commercial team. Once a product is launched, that's not necessarily the end of the project, nor should it be. It's important to ensure that the solution meets and continues to meet objectives. Continued user testing, review of key performance indicators, and providing new functionality through software upgrades are all part of the optimize phase. So next slide, please, Paul. So where have we done this before? Social Work England. CDS partnered with Social Work England to help them build a single purpose digital platform to deliver a seamless experience for users. As a new regulator, Social Work England needed a complete digital solution for both their external social worker users and their internal users. The project had to be completed in less than 12 months to allow nearly 100,000 social workers to complete their annual registration. Absolutely non-negotiable end date for that one. So how did we do it? We integrated Appian, which is a low-code technology, with open source Umbraco front end, ultimately creating a fantastic user experience for both those key user groups. CDS recommended Umbraco to Social Work England due to its open source license-free nature, which is a priority for public sector organisations, the ease of use for content editors to reduce the amount of training that would be required during handover to the client, and finally the ability, as Dimitri said, to really get into the code to customise the solution to support integration with the underlying Appian case management solution. The platform has all the building blocks any regulator needs, provides a single fully integrated system across both front end and back end. The solutions deployed to Azure is highly resilient, scalable, and accessible by design. And it won an award for best use of digital in the public sector. It was a few years ago now, so we'll have to nail another one of those soon. If you'd like to learn more about that project, then we have a case study on our website. Next slide, please, Paul. So what is it like working with CDS? Well, we believe it's a great experience. The majority of our customers have worked with us for 5 years or more, so we believe we're clearly doing something right. As a client, you have a single account manager as a point of contact during and post-project. They act as your voice within the agency, bringing challenge and innovation and ensuring we're held to task around what good looks like for you. Ultimately, we want to build a trusting, collaborative relationship with our clients. We want to be seen as a partner and not just a supplier. Whether we deliver projects in a waterfall or agile manner, we hold regular show and tell sessions to show progress, capture feedback, and ensure that we're taking you on the journey. Obviously, no project is ever perfect, and there will always be some bumps in the road. I've been here 14 years, and I've seen my fair share of bumps, fair to say. But when issues do arise, our first response is to identify how they can be resolved and keep the project on track. There's a saying around our project managers here of no surprises. We don't want you to be surprised by an issue, so communication is key. Issues are raised quickly and not kind of swept under the carpet in the vain hope that they can be fixed without anyone noticing. As I said, we want to create a true partnership and deliver meaningful change to you and your business. Next slide, please, Paul. At CDS, we have a proven background in delivering projects on time and within budgets in various different scales. But irrespective of delivery being either traditional waterfall or agile scrum, we have strong governance, we have defined project gates, we have a project board made up of senior representatives within CDS, and we have change and release management conforming to recognised standards. So we are, in some cases, have the agility of a smaller agency, but the I guess structure and governance that you'd expect from one of the larger prime type operations. We delivered Umbraco projects, but not only Social Work England and Yorkshire Water, but also Headley Business School and the project they're doing with British Army. We've recently won 2 new projects where we've led with Umbraco and Umbraco Cloud, and specifically the new UK data center offering for Umbraco Cloud, which had that not been available, would have potentially been a deal breaker for those 2 new clients. Our gold partner status with Umbraco means that we're held to account for the work that we do. We adhere to strict quality standards, including those set by Umbraco. As an Umbraco Gold partner, we have access to priority support, which means we can use the really brainy people in Umbraco as an extension to our team should we get into something that is particularly challenging. Next slide, please, Paul. We believe in a results-orientated approach. With every project, we ask ourselves the question, how can we make a difference? We think it's important to define what does success look like for you and focus on achieving tangible goals and objectives. As an example, we partnered with Yorkshire Water to assist them in improving the functionality of their online services and designing a new customer-centric digital platform to support new regulatory requirements. We provided end-to-end delivery on the project and supported in migrating the site from Umbraco version 7 to version 8. And that site went live on time, actually had more functionality than planned, and has dramatically improved interactions for Yorkshire Water and its 5 million customers. Since launch, they have seen a 20% reduction in billing inquiries, contacts to their call centre. So they see that as a real solid success. We continue to work with Yorkshire Water and are currently planning an upgrade to Umbraco version 12 to allow access to new features and functionality. In this particular case, it's the headless API that Dimitri referred to. Next slide, please, Paul. As an agency, we have innovation in our DNA. I don't think there can be many agencies that have utilised the Xbox Connect motion sensor thing to support the fight against Ebola in Africa. That was certainly one of the more interesting and challenging and innovative projects that I've been involved in. We take a creative approach to solving technical challenges and can offer new and unique solutions, as I've just mentioned, to problems such as security, infrastructure, resilience, support, etc. This approach far surpasses implementing off-the-shelf solutions. But sometimes you need solutions relatively quickly. And this is where our Umbraco Accelerator comes in. So using our group innovation fund, we've developed a set of core templates and functions in the Umbraco back office to address the majority of content requirements we've seen over the many years we've been working with different content management systems. This standardized approach simplifies upgrades and testing and aligns with the Umbraco Cloud deployment strategy. As part of that accelerator, we took an active decision not to invest in a front end. So we haven't built a kind of cookie cutter website by any means. So we haven't invested in the front end, the presentation element, because we know and believe that this area is unique to every client and goes back into our learn and design philosophy, which allows our insight team to work unconstrained to an existing user interface, allowing them to really tailor the customer experience to your needs. And I think that is me. So I will hand back over to Paul, who will field any questions that hopefully you will have for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason and Dimitri. So yes, if anybody has any questions, I think the Q&A should be enabled. So please ask your questions there. And if you don't have any questions immediately, then please reach out to us via our contact form on our website and fill your question in there, and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I do think we have got a few here. So let me have a look. One of the questions here, I think that's best for you, Dimitri, is what happens if I don't upgrade in time?
Yes, that's a good question. And well, in essence, nothing will really happen. So your website will not stop working or anything as such. The only thing is that we will, when this security phase is out, we consider this as an end of life. So that means that we at Umbraco, if any security vulnerabilities are detected, we are not releasing the fixes for them. So this is something you will have to do on your own. And of course, it comes with the risk of different kind of manners. So in essence, nothing will happen, but your websites are more exposed to attacks and to security vulnerabilities that we don't fix at Umbraco.
Thanks, Dimitri. Linda, I see your question has just popped in here, whether we're on G-Cloud. So CDS has been on G-Cloud since G-Cloud 1, and we're on G-Cloud 13. If you'd like to find out what to search for, then please reach out again by email to info@cds.co.uk, and we can help you with searching for us. But we are on there as an Umbraco partner, so no issue with that at all. Then another one for you, Dimitri. Should I update to version 10 or version 11?
That's also a good question. So I would say it really much depends on your needs. We, of course, as a CMS vendor, we recommend to upgrade to later versions as much as it is possible, because again, with time we patch and we fix a lot of issues, bugs, and also the security issues that might come. So, but also the performance, as I showed you in a different slide, there was a significant performance improvements with the later versions of the .NET. So again, it can result in many benefits. You can you can pay less for your hosting. Your sites are faster. So, but it all greatly depends on your plans and the complexity of your solution. And this is why it is very important to have somebody experienced to give you a expert advice what is relevant in your particular case.
And that's where CDS can help, of course, with providing that advice. Quick question here for you, Jason. Can I do a lift and shift?
Am I off mute? Yes, I'm off mute. That's a good start. It kind of depends on the version that you're currently on. So there's a fairly big jump between Umbraco version 8 and 9, and then between 9, 10, 10, 11, there's much less so because of the increased release cycle. That jump is mainly due to the change in the .NET framework, but the content that you have in a version 8 site can be migrated across to a version 9, 10, or 11 website, but all of the kind of templates and front end will need to be reworked to make use of the new .NET framework. But again, everything is different. There's nuances to everything. So I mean, that's if that's the case, if you're on a 7 or an 8 and you're wanting to look at an upgrade, then something to get in touch with us about. I'm not a big fan of the phrase reach out, so I'm not going to use that. The other thing that can also affect upgrades is if you're using any third-party packages, they obviously would need to be aligned to the version you're upgrading to. So no, not an easy answer to that question, but yeah, everything's possible.
Thank you. So I think we're about at time now. If there are any other questions, please send them through. And I'd just like to thank Jason and Dimitri for your sharing your wisdom and your experience. And thank you everyone for your time today. Please do reach out if you have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.